Hi, in this video we'll be looking at multiplying a fraction of a whole number. Okay, well here we go. Here is our first little sum. We want to find 2/3 of 6. Now before we get going, there's a couple of terms that we need to make sure that we're aware of. The first one is the word of. Of, it can also be written as times. Alrighty, so if I looked at my sum, I have 2/3 of, and I changed the word to of to multiplied by. The next thing we need to understand is that the whole number 6 can actually be written as a fraction. So the whole number 6 can be written as 6 over 1. So that becomes the fraction, okay, representation of a whole number. So I will rewrite 6 as 6 over 1. And now multiplication simply says that we multiply 2 by 6 and 3 by 1. So I'll go ahead and do that. So 2 times 6 is 12 and 3 times 1 is 3. Now I'm sitting with an improper fraction because my numerator is larger than my denominator. So the question is, how many times does 3 go into 12, or what is 12 divided by 3? And we know our times table is 3, 6, 9, 12. That equals 4. Alrighty, and that would be the correct answer. So 2/3 of 6 is in fact 4. Alright, here's one for you to have a go at. What is 1/3 of 9? Put the video on pause and come back when you're ready. Alright, well how did we go? Well, first of all, 1/3 stays where it is. The word of I'm going to change to multiplication, and 9 I'm going to turn into a fraction, and that would be 9 over 1. Alrighty, so that's the first step done. Next, I can simply multiply 1 by 9, and that'll give me 9, and 3 multiplied by 1 is going to give me 3. So that would be my improper fraction because my numerator is bigger than my denominator. So all I need to do is say, how many times does 3 go into 9? Well, 3 goes into 9, 3, 6, 9. It goes in 3 times. So then my answer is actually 3. So 1/3 of 9 is 3. Alright, well sometimes we get given questions like this. John buys 12 apples and takes 1/3 of them to school. How many apples does John take to school? Alright, so we've got to work it out. Try and see if you can figure out what bits of information are most important in this particular sum. Put the video on pause and come back when you're ready. So bits of information that are important here are 12 and 1/3 and of. Okay, so those are the important bits of information. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to rewrite it. So I'm going to say, what is 1/3 of 12? So from here, I can now set out my multiplication sum. So it's going to be 1/3 multiplied by 12 over 1, because I'm changing my word of to multiplication, and I'm changing my whole number, which is 12, to a fraction, which is 12 over 1. And then all I need to do is multiply. 1 times 12 is equal to 12, and 3 times 1 is equal to 3. So that becomes my improper fraction, and it's improper because my numerator is bigger than my denominator. Now I say, how many times does 3 go into 12? Well, 3, 6, 9, 12, and my answer would be 4. So John takes 4 apples, okay, to school, and that will be the correct answer. Right, well here's another little sum for you to work out. What is 1/5 of 25 chocolate bars? See if you can identify the important bits of information. There obviously are going to be 3. And then work out the sum. Put the video on pause and come back when you're ready. All right, so important bits of information. 1/5 of 25. All right, so let's write that down. 1/5 of 25. Okay, so I want to rewrite that correctly because I want to use the correct terminology. So I'm going to go 1/5, and of becomes multiplied, and 25 as a fraction becomes 25 over 1. So now I can simply multiply. 1 multiplied by 25 is going to give me 25. And 5 multiplied by 1 is going to give me 5. So now I'm left with 25 over 5. It's an improper fraction because my numerator is larger than my denominator, so I need to simplify this fraction. And what I do is I look at my denominator and I say, how many times does 5 go into 25? Well, 5 5s are 25. So my answer is actually going to be 5. And I have a look at my question and it asks me, what is 1/5 of 25 chocolate bars? So my answer must be 5, and it's going to be chocolate bars. Okay, and that would be correct. So just re-emphasizing a couple of things. The word of, okay, we substitute for multiplication, and a whole number, any whole number, for example 6, if you turn it into an improper fraction, it becomes 6 over 1. The same can be for 100, for example. It just becomes 100 over 1. Alrighty, so these are pretty important when we come to multiplying a fraction of a number.